Yeah, so let's do some updates then. It's been a good 5 or more weeks of running my version of the Steve Reeves program now. So his book, Building the Classic Physique the Natural Way, has been a big influence for me. I've enjoyed training in the full body sequence he suggests, with having a good variety of exercises. But from the start, I scaled it back to one set, as I thought I could always expand from there rather than getting stuck. So I've chopped and changed a few exercises now. I've seen quite big jumps in strength, especially getting used to the strict rep tempo. So the workout's flowing really well. I'm trying to build on the last one, adding weight or reps. I've been making sure my nutrition's on point, as with being a bit older, I have to consider recoverability. So I'm not bothered about using creatine or protein powder, so it's all good a food as I can source really. Whole foods and ideally things as close to their natural state as they can be. But I do think there's some supplements that are beneficial that I'm putting in. So magnesium then is one that I think is very useful. Perhaps I've got some sort of a deficiency to it, but I seem to respond really well. So the biggest benefit for me is just trying to improve sleep. I find I get a much deeper level of sleep when I use magnesium, especially the ZMA, and it gets good relaxation, reduces stress, and also other side benefits are bone health, recovery and reduced soreness, reduces inflammation, keeps the electrolytes balanced, and helps muscle function and energy production. The next one would be vitamin D. Goes without saying, I think everyone would probably find themselves slightly deficient in vitamin D. And interestingly, I had some blood work done recently and found that my vitamin D was just at a normal level, and that's even though I'm supplementing quite a lot with it. So if I wasn't, goodness knows where that would be. Of course, we've got a standard multivitamin. I think it's just a good insurance policy to make sure you're getting a reasonable amount of those in. So a lot of folks are getting really into pre-workout drinks. I think some of them potentially are quite dangerous. There's massive amounts of caffeine in them and things like that. Never bothered with them other than having perhaps a strong cup of coffee or just some lemon juice or something to work out with. But I've been doing a lot of research into beetroot juice, because it's actually gained a lot of popularity as a performance enhancing supplement for athletes, because it has a very naturally high content of nitrates. So I looked into it a bit further, and it can improve oxygen delivery, it can enhance efficiency and the amount of oxygen cost of your exercise, so you can perform at higher intensity. It can boost performance, and I found quite a few studies showing percentages of performance increase, which is very interesting. And it can quickly absorb as well into the bloodstream and last for up to 6 hours for enhanced performance. And of course, it's packed with loads of other nutrients like potassium, vitamin C and dietary fibre, which support overall health and muscle function. And of course, with the nitric oxide, you can get a bit more of a muscle pump as well. So there was a review done in 2020, and it looks at 80 clinical trials and found that beetroot juice supplementation provided performance benefits for athletes, particularly in endurance and high intensity activities. So that's very interesting. Today's workout then, I'm going to give a shot of beetroot juice a try, bearing in mind that I try to train as flat out as I possibly can and push every rep as hard as I can on this workout. Let's see if it enables me to push even further beyond the workout I did only a few days ago. Only got 9 reps in the last workout. That was 12. Go beetroot juice. Do 2 force ones. Oh, that's it there. It's gone. It's gone. Oh. On the last workout, got 11 on this, on the dumbbell bench. Striving for 12 or more so we can then notch up another weight and get back down to 8 reps and work up from there. Get the chalk. Dude, come on! Come on. Come on. Come on. Up. Up. That's locked out. Yeah. Man, that set was tough. It was tough, wasn't it, Rude? Yeah, got to 6 reps and I thought it's all over. Suddenly I had this spurt of adrenaline and there we were. Right, to the next exercise. Okay, so I've introduced this exercise in now, which is like a sort of standing dip with the cables. Got them set nice and wide. And then gradually inching up the weight plates on this. It's quite fatiguing after you've done dumbbell bench press, but at the same time it's hitting the muscle in a different area. So go for it. Trying to stand as upright as I can, just so it's more or less a straight up and down dip. We'll leave it at 14. Feeling a lot more chest activation on that one. Now moving on to cable flies. So attach the cables to the front of the rack. It's important, I've found, to weigh the rack down when you're doing this, otherwise the whole thing can just pull forward with the amount of force you're trying to put on. It's 15. Oh, the jury's out on whether I prefer that to the band flies. It's certainly more of a linear pull all the way through the movement, whereas the bands is really extreme just in that last sort of foot or so of the tension. So I'll probably maybe mix them up a little bit. But what I like about this is the bottom of where the weight hits kind of acts as a safety barrier to stop your arms sort of coming too far backwards, putting strain on the shoulders. So I can make the weight hit the floor just around there and come forward Right, now onto the back. Okay, so move on to the lat pull. So looking at the workout log, probably in about 6 or 7 weeks, started with these slow time repetitions, maximum tension at 40 kilos. We're now on nearly 60, so I've added nearly 20 kilos to this lift in that time. It's incredible. I think it's testament just to doing that one set all out. The strength increases are crazy. So yeah, we'll put a little bit more weight on it and we'll get the set done. 12. Pretty much maxing out the loading pin now as well. I have to move on to using 20 kilo plates and things. Right, we'll get some more chalk. I'll do the 45-degree row. Thought about using straps soon for some of these because I think my back is probably stronger than what my hands can actually hang on to. Well, certainly working the grip good, nothing else. That's one of those. The last couple of reps I couldn't even get anywhere near my chest. This beetroot juice is still working its way through my system even now, because I don't understand how I can just go from absolutely maxed out in the last workout, there's no way of budging that an inch further, to just seamlessly just pull in those reps. Okay, onto the cable bicep curl. Really starting to like this exercise. I think I'm getting a lot from it, although progress has been a bit slow and steady. I think I got about 8 reps last time with this weight, so we'll see where we go today. Just found it important to have a head rest just to lean my head on. I'm trying to get every rep to just touch my forehead quickly to know I've done it. Then we have the cable set up above, going down to the weight. Come on, 10. That felt good. And move on to the 45-degree curl. Okay, now onto the 45-degree curl. Just change the angle of the bottom bit of the bench slightly. So hoping I can push a bit more with my legs. Just get a little bit more drive into the move. And of course I've offset the weights. There's a bit more weight on one side than the other, so that's going to help to supinate the bicep. Right, determined to get more than 12 in this, or at least 12, so we can move up. When I got the 12, that felt so much easier than the last time. And also I thought, let's just cheat one up and get it in. So I think it's important to accentuate those negatives. It's a weird exercise though, I only really feel it on the last sort of 4 reps. Suddenly there's this massive intensity in the bicep. Move on to the tricep push down. Really is a nice day today. Had a really good spell of weather in the UK, and it's nice. But where I've got the gym, it's just right, it's just in the shade. But if I was to train any more towards sort of midday, I'd be in trouble because it does get hot at that point. Walls just starting to get warm now. But yeah, it'd be great to have an indoor gym. Starting to get to that point with tidied up the shed a little bit more now. We've got the leg equipment in there, so that's a nice relief from it all to just go in there. Right, I've got just overhead tricep to do now. Just one set. Absolutely have to make sure you weigh down the rack when you're doing this, because the whole thing will just come toppling forwards. Learned the hard way about that. Okay, leg press there. So we go for 20 reps. We slowly add in like 2.5 kilos every workout, just trying to get 20 reps. Done that quite successfully the last few workouts. Up to that point I was sort of inching up from about 14 reps, slowly getting to the 20, and then I've just been adding weight. And then on the last rep, whatever I do get to, I'm just trying to hold it for as long as I can on the way back down. This is absolutely brutal though. So yeah, so we've got more or less about 95 kilos in plates, and then we've got 2 bands that are adding another 90 kilos to it. So yeah, let's get in. I find it's a bit like the 20 rep breathing squats.
Oh, come on!
A lot of it is mental. You just have to mentally get through that barrier. The first 5 are okay. You get to about 12 and you think, why am I doing this? I think if you can just get to the 16th rep, you know you're on the home straight. You just give it your all. Right. I feel winded now.
Oh, I can't get up.
That takes intensity to a whole new level. So just setting up the bolt squat. So what I did do last night was a set of 100 reps on the leg press, just with like 40 kilos, just really like rhythmic lifts, not to time or nothing. It's up down like a piston. Got quite challenging towards the last few, but I think I've been reading a lot about sort of engaging extra capillaries in muscles and things like that, and I think there's something in that. So I expected today's leg press to be really challenging, adding a bit more weight. So I think the beetroot juice is partly playing its part, but I think there's something that comes in as well with the stuff I was doing with the Professor Attila, the light dumbbells, because a lot of that is massively high reps, getting loads of blood flow, and I think it then primes the system for greater things. So I think there's something in that. So it might be something I might look at doing just between workouts going forward. Just a bit of a, just very quick couple of minutes, just pump out a set. Right, so we're doing these belt squats. I'm going to probably take it to about 50 kilos or just above, but with a deliberate pause and a very slow descent and coming back up again. So really want to feel the movement rather than all out weight with this. Got a safety block there as well, so we know when we've hit the bottom. Okay. So I've been doing some study as well into high reps, as in like 100 rep sets. So I read about this a bit more in the Steve Reeves book, and he mentions a time in the military overseas where he only had access to a 100-pound weight set. So of course it was nowhere near heavy enough for a lot of the exercises he wanted to do. So instead he started repping them out, and interestingly he found he had some good gains from that. That was 17, and the last rep would probably be debatable. So I left it there. Got this handle as well, just to not pull myself up with, but just to aid my balance, stop me going too far forward. But so far I'm having zero problems with my back doing this, and in fact with the heavy leg press as well, really supportive on the lower back. But I know if I was to start engaging in back squats and things like that, it'll be a different story. Right, leg extension, leg curl, calves, and finish. So I did 17 there, and then a couple of cheat reps where I just sort of swung it up and then lowered slowly. Oh, it's a tough exercise to progress on. Yeah. So we're now just going to move on to calves. I'm just going to do one all-out set of these. So it just gets to this point in the workout where I've kind of had enough. Energy levels are kind of hit their maximum really. So yeah, let's get it done. Yeah. That feels good. Held the rep at the end. Right, another workout done and dusted. Quite tiring, but I can certainly advocate that the beetroot juice is the way ahead. If you want to get extra reps, if you want to get stamina, if you want to get strength, it's a cheap and easy way of doing it naturally. I'm sure it probably has carryovers as well to running and things like that. I'll see if I can cite a few studies that go into it to reinforce my findings in the real world, in the bro science and all of that. So another good workout. Just really loving this routine that I've got for myself. I'm just training a day on, having a couple of days off and then on again. So giving myself 2 rest days between workouts, because it is quite an intensive workout. It's a good hour and a half, especially more if moving the camera around and things like that. But it's nice to pace yourself through it and just try and set up as many exercises as you can before you start to make it a bit easier. So yeah, I'm probably going to milk it for another couple of weeks, then I'm going away for a week so I can have a natural rest there, although I think the place I'm going to has got a gym, so I might just have a bit of a mess around there and do some swimming and things like that. So yeah, so I hope all your training's going well, you're getting some benefit from what you're doing, and yeah, keep coming. If you think about subscribing, that would be great, and like the videos, we'll get more content out there for you. Okay, catch you all soon. Let's enjoy this beautiful day. Training at 45.